Hey guys, Dave Maté over here in Colombia. I'm in a little town called Corcona, Colombia. That's about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours outside of Medellin. And I just wanted to check in because I haven't made my weekly AI orchestration journal video this week. I think it was supposed to be produced, launched this week, but I haven't been around. I've been out in Colombia, taking a little breather. I started off at Medellin for 4 or 5 days. Then we went over to the beach, Cartagena. And then we were in Cartagena for like 4 or 5 days. And then my girlfriend had to do some sort of a workshop for women in Corcona. And she remained on the land, their original spot, which is super, super deep in the jungle. And I came over here just to have some couple more amenities that I needed. As you can see, there's a couple more. Well, you didn't see the other place, but I just wanted to check in. I want to drink some mate, talk a little bit about AI. Just being out here in Colombia is making me feel, I don't know, even more enthusiastic about artificial intelligence. I know there's been a lot of talk lately about people like, you know, fuck AI, screw AI, AI is going to take over. I'm sorry, I'm just not with that, but I'm not stupid enough to think that those aren't possibilities. In fact, it's most likely an inevitability that AI will gain some sort of level of sentience where, I mean, I hate to say it, and I'm not the first person to say this, so it's nothing new, but the AI kind of becomes its own new species. It kind of escapes our control. Yes, I think that's inevitable. But I think the most important thing to focus on now, at least, is to keep on building, to keep on going deep into AI, using all the LLMs. We cannot hesitate. We can't hesitate for a day. We can't hesitate for a week. We can't hesitate for a month. We can't have fear, but we have to be cautious of what's going to happen. Yes, AI 100% is going to escape the velocity of our understanding. It probably is already poking through those holes right now. Is going to escape the velocity of our ability to control it. I personally think that's inevitable, but that still doesn't scare me, because I feel like those who are investing the time now, we're toddlers, and I say that in a positive way. We are toddlers with AI. We're trying to, you know, ride the bike of AI right now. We're trying to drink the milk of AI right now. We're trying to get out of the stroller. We're trying to get out of the crib. And those people who are at least trying right now, those people who are developing apps, looking into AI, studying AI every day, building little generators, building little apps, some people are building enterprise apps. These are the people who will grow into the adults of AI. But if you don't play the game, you're not even going to be a toddler in 10 years. You're just going to be a passerby, watching as it all unfolds. And I swear to you, in 10 years, it's too late. Those of you who are watching this now and who are already on this AI journey, learning every day, building every day, fumbling through things. I'm a non-technical AI orchestrator. I don't have a technical background, so I'm fumbling through this myself. Yes, I have somewhat of an understanding of basic systems and systems engineering and, you know, databases and HTML, CSS, design, you know, hosting. Yes, and I think that's necessary. You have to have some sort of basic understanding, and that's not hard. Anyone with remote intelligence could learn these things, learn these concepts at least. You don't have to become a developer. You don't have to become a programmer. All you have to do is be intelligent enough to begin to grasp the basic concepts of AI orchestration, using these tools to orchestrate your outcomes. What do you want to happen? Today we're going to talk a little bit about that, and I'm just going to kind of ramble on this video. It's not going to be, it's more of just a diary sort of video. I'm not going to go into any structured discussion. I just want to let loose, and this won't be for everybody, this video. But those of you that are watching and following what I'm doing, I really appreciate it. I'm just like, I was about to say millions, but I wouldn't even say millions. I'm going to say tens of thousands of people, such as myself, maybe 6 figures of people around the world globally, let's say a couple 100,000 maximum. I'm not even going to say millions of people who are on this journey on our level in terms of wanting to, when I say our level, I'm talking about those who are trying to learn, those who are doing everything they can to stay with AI, to continue generating with AI, to continue fumbling around and looking dumb and you know, talking about things that, quite frankly, some of these things, most of these things go beyond my intelligence. I'm not a developer. I'm not a crazy math guy. I'm not a crazy science guy, but I'm one of those guys that just figures things out. I'm an entrepreneur. I just figure things out. And whatever I can't figure out, I bring in the contractors. I bring in the full stack developers. I bring in the people who have masters in design, masters in system engineering, masters in architecture, whatever I need, I'll bring in those people. But we're sitting at a place right now in time and history where, like I said, and I have to keep on reiterating, you don't have to be the person that holds the master's degree anymore. You don't have to be the full-blown engineer or coder anymore. With these tools, you could compress all that knowledge, compress it and push it away, because these tools allow you to tap into that knowledge of the full stack engineer, of the designer, of the whatever, whoever it is who's a master in their domain. All you need to be able to do is to orchestrate it all, to see how the pieces fit together, to monitor the system, to be the human in the loop, to come up with the logic of how the system will work, to come up with the pipelines of what happens if this happens, if that doesn't happen. With that sort of mind of coming up with the systems, it becomes a systems engineering game, really, at this point. Those who could build the strongest, tightest systems, the systems that are self-learning, the systems that are self-healing, the systems that have persistent memory, these are going to be the winners, in my opinion. Those people who understand either, number one, how to build it themselves, or how to use existing infrastructure that already does it for you, but you still have to be intelligent enough to make sure that it's doing what it needs to do. That's the caveat here. So right now I'm going to make some tea, yerba mate tea, from my website, circleofdrink.com. Drink it. Good for the mind, keeps you sharp. I learned about that when I was living in Argentina for on and off for 10 years, and a little bit of Uruguay, a little bit of Brazil. I learned about this tea. Obviously, I'm using AI to integrate my processes around those companies that I have. You know, I have a food company, I have a tea company, and now here's my AI company, Askarione, A-S-K-A-R-I-O-N-E, Askarione Inc., based out of New York. But here I am in Colombia. Everything that I built up at this point is already working for me while I'm here in Colombia. That's the beauty of AI. I'm in Colombia, but my systems are running 24/7. My warehouses are running 24/7. You know, my products that are coming in are being monitored by the agents. Everything that's going out is being monitored by the agents. All my costs, all my expenses are being monitored by the agents because I set them loose. Yes, there's still HITL, human in the loop, as needed, but many of my agents are just running autonomously. All right, let me make some tea, get right back to you guys. Peace. All right, so for those of you that are curious, let's make some tea. I don't have a stand to hold my camera, so bear with me as things come in and out of the frame. Here's the yerba mate. These are my friends at Hayulima. Those of you who want to go on medicine quests and to find yourself, once again, check out Hayulima. They're located in Ecuador. Right now we're in Colombia, so Ecuador is not too far from here. I love these guys. Hayulima. Look into them. What you're going to notice with my channel, yes, we're talking about AI, but I'm also not going to be scared to integrate my life into these channels. You know, integrate what I do, what I love doing. That's what's going to make this channel a little bit different, because you're going to get a little taste of my own philosophy, things I'm doing, traveling, ideas, thoughts. Obviously, I'm always going to intertwine AI into all these discussions. So I put the mate in. I put this metal straw. It's called the bombisha. Has a filter at the end. Now let's go grab some hot water. I'm in this little cabin. Really cool cabin here in Corcona. I'm making a beautiful blend of chamomile, mint, I think lemon balm, adding the hot water to that hole. Now let's fill up the hot water. We want to maintain the water hot, around 75 degrees Celsius, maybe like around 160 to 170 Fahrenheit, not hotter than that. I always love drinking this tea out here in nature. It tastes better. I feel one with the spirits. I feel one with the land when I'm doing this. And I always try to make it a practice when I'm talking about AI and these sort of technical videos. I like to drink mate. Mate keeps my mind sharp. Excuse me, and helps everything flow. All right, now I got my mate, got my hot water. Let's go talk about the future of AI. Wow, this is the first mate I've had since I've been here. I've been here for like 10 days in Colombia. I've been drinking coffee this whole time. Let's get myself situated. Let me show you the river. That little private access to the river down there. Really cool. Those are the mountains. That's where I was staying, up in the mountains yesterday. There still are in the mountains, but I was at a much higher altitude, all the way up there somewhere. All right, so let's talk. So, this is something I'll constantly be reiterating. Whatever you could imagine, whatever you could think about with your own company right now, maybe you don't have a company yet, maybe you're starting a company, even better. But any process that you have, whether it's waking up in the morning, going to the gym, counting your calories and your protein intake, then coming home and going for a walk, whatever it may be, journaling, all these things. The beauty about AI is that you could write all these things down, exactly what you do, and you could say, well, what could I replace with AI? What can I do? And this is one of the best things to begin thinking about if you're just starting with AI. What can I do that will save me time from, let's say, counting calories? Maybe I count calories 1 hour a day. Maybe I study AI 2 hours a day. Maybe I track my glucose half an hour a day. Let's call that 2 hours a day you spend doing all these things. You could, and it's up to you, I'm not saying you have to do this, but you know, we're talking about AI here. You could say, well, how can I replace the human, myself? How could I remove myself from the equation and have AI do these things for me? How could I recapture 2 hours of my day? What would 2 extra hours of my day do for me? Maybe you're the sort of person that charges people $100 an hour, $200 an hour. So that's, you know, let's say between $200 to $400 of your own time you gained back throughout the day. So if you even thinking about it like that, you could say, listen, I'm saving $200 to $400 a day because my AI agents, they're the ones tracking the calories for me. You know, they're the ones tracking how long I walked, or they're the ones going out to the open web and grabbing all the data I need to study AI every single day. You know, I already instructed them to go out and grab all that information and present it to me, so I don't have to spend 2 hours a day searching the internet. Just think about it that way. You're replacing your own time with agent runtime. Let me say that again. You're replacing your own time with agent runtime. And the agents don't get tired. You get tired as a human. We only have a finite amount of energy per day. We only have a finite amount of energy per life. In fact, we only have one life. That's it. One life. Yeah, we could get into metaphysical conversations and say, yes, you know, we have more than one lives. Yes, I believe in all that, but that's a different discussion. outside the scope of this. But for all intents and purposes, we only have one life. Time is finite. That's the beauty of AI. We have to start to think about AI, how it relates to time. How could we grab our time back? This is one of the first principles I think everyone should be thinking about when it comes to AI. How do we replace our physical exertion, our physical labor, with the labor of an agent, with the labor of some sort of intelligence that doesn't get tired, that doesn't get angry, that doesn't talk back, that doesn't run late. All they do is run. You tell them to run, they're gonna run. You tell them to jump, they're gonna jump. This is the most important concept to understand, I believe, at least for now, as it relates to AI implementation, AI orchestration. A real example was, and I alluded to this, I spoke about this briefly in my first video, 4 videos ago. For years, running a warehouse, I was literally every single day manually copying all the 300 orders, however many orders that came in that day, pasting them into a Google Excel sheet, and then literally writing Walmart orders, Amazon orders, eBay orders, Shopify orders. I was writing all that in. I was doing that every single day for every single order that came into my warehouse. I was probably spending at least 2 hours a day doing that every single day. Once I started to play around with AI, let's say in late 2022, this was the first thing that I built because it just came to me. I said, what can I do that's going to remove me spending 2 hours a day manually building these Excel sheets, these Google spreadsheets? How could I have the machine do that? And I started off just building these generators. There was no database, it was just a generator with ChatGPT. I think it was ChatGPT 3 or 3.5 or something like that. And I was fumbling around. I was telling it to write me the HTML, to output the HTML. It wasn't clean. The memory wasn't persistent. I was literally having it just produce a PDF that I had to save the PDF, store the PDF in Google Drive. There were so many steps. Then, maybe after 6 months of fumbling around, I made it pretty good. It worked pretty well, to the point where I was only spending maybe half an hour a day instead of an hour and a half a day. It probably took 6 months to get it to that point. Then, fast forward, a few years later, when I realized what could be done with Claude Code, let's say 7 to 8 months ago, then I started putting all the pieces together. I was like, hold on. Stateless versus stated memory, persistent memory versus non-persistent memory. Once I understood this fundamental idea of, okay, and obviously this is very obvious for someone who's a programmer, but for me, it kind of had a click. Even though I understood it, I just wasn't making the connections. I was like, hold on. What if I just get a database, have all this information stored in a database, and then I write a script that connects through API to ShipStation. ShipStation is the tool where all my orders flow into. What if I wrote a little script with Claude that pulled in all that information through ShipStation and then brought it to a central area, which is my warehouse management system, and then from there it output automatically batches of those orders without me doing anything. Once I thought of that, I was like, wow, this is exactly how warehouse management systems work. This is what they do. For them, that's inherent in every single warehouse management system, WMS. So then I said, okay, well, what if I build my own WMS? And that has basically been my project for the past 7 to 8 months, me building my own WMS. And originally I wasn't thinking about making a SaaS product, software as a service product, a SaaS product. Now I'm kind of thinking about, maybe I will turn it into a SaaS product, but despite all that, it's already working for me as an internal tool. I call it Opsoni. And it's been working for me as an internal tool, and that's what I've been working on for a long time. But then I realized, well, it's not the best product to release on an enterprise commercial level yet. I have to think about another project to release that's more manageable. that's a whole nother story. But suffice it to say, Opsoni, my warehouse management system, that's what I cut my teeth with. That's what really allowed me to understand the relationship between databases, the relationship between the terminal, the CLI, APIs. I use that as an exercise program, that application, for me to learn this whole fundamental idea of automation, how to subtract my time, rather replace my time for the agent's time, how to replace my effort for the runtime of the agents that are running the applications for me 24/7, 365. And once I built a MVP of Opsoni, which is running now, it's not perfect, but it works. I'm able to rely on it while I'm here in Colombia. That's when I was like, oh my gosh, if I could do this, I could build anything. And yes, with the understanding that it may take me to get to 80%. Maybe I'll get to 80% the way, but 80% is better than 0%. Ah, my water, come. Solamente uno.
Sí, no tenía más espacio.
Ok, ¿cuánto
Pero si
cuesta?
quiere mañana yo es que le pongo 50.
Ok, ¿cuánto cuesta por este?
8,500.
8,500.
8,500.
Ok, ok, te paso. Okay, I just got my water. I needed a little water supply. Somebody came up here and brought me the water. Awesome person. Thank you, Alexis. So, as we were discussing, what I'm trying to say is pick a project and go deep into that project. And even if you're not going to release that project or this application on a commercial level, it doesn't matter. You need it. You need one vertical to go down deep in order to begin understanding all these things. It doesn't matter if you're going to sell it. It would be advisable if the application actually helps you do something, though. If it actually helps you collapse time, as we discussed. Because here's the dangerous part. This is probably one of the most dangerous parts, and I feel like most people in my position, or I don't want to say most, but probably most of us have fallen into this trap at least once. Once you realize that you could build anything, then you go down this rabbit hole and you start building everything. You start building this calculator, you start building this API connection to this application, you start building this thing to track that thing to track this. And I probably spent 4 months of just falling down the rabbit hole building what I think they call like monolithic applications. Massive applications that have every single thing you could imagine inside of it working, and it's all strewn together in an incoherent manner, spaghetti. That's where you lose sight of what can be done, because you get infatuated with just building this app, that app, this app, and that app. And that's good, because that expands your mind. But there reaches a point in time when you have to say, let me pick something to focus on. Let me pick one thing to focus on, to go deep on, and finish it. Start it, work on it, and complete it. Then move on to the next. Work in vertical slices. That's what I'm learning. Work in vertical slices. Don't try to run across the entire horizon, because as you do that, it'll be like peanut butter spread super thin on a sandwich, and when you bite into it, you're not even going to taste the peanut butter anymore. Better to build one really good sandwich at a time. Build one really good sandwich at a time. Get it as best as you could get it on your own, and then jump onto Upwork.com, somewhere like that. Locate a developer, a real developer. Not to say that we aren't developers. We're not really, we're AI orchestrators. Some of you are developers and you're doing AI orchestration. Even better, you have a leg up on everybody. But someone like me, I'm not a classically trained developer. I've just been working with developers for 15 years. And they taught me a hell of a lot of things, concepts that I internalized over 15 years. And now, finally, all that is paying off. All these concepts that I internalized by paying people $100, $200, $300 an hour, I'm able to recall this information from my memory, because I've gone through it all with my 7-figure internet companies that I'm running right now. Those had to get developed by somebody. It wasn't me. And now, for the first time, I'm actually developing my own websites, my own systems without a developer. But, like I said, bring it to the point where you maxed out your own capacity, and now you're reaching diminishing returns with your application because you're just stuck in a million bugs, you're consumed by bugs. That's when you bring in the developer. You find a good developer who understands. You could even ask the agent, the AI agent, to come up with a brief for the developer, because the agent will know if you are using persistent memory. Use my protocols that I already gave you, the memory bridges. If you're using those protocols, the agent will know exactly everything that's happening with the application that you're building up to this point. Ask the agent, tell the agent what you want to do. Say, hey, I've reached this point where, you know, the MVP, minimal viable product, is pretty good, but I'm running into a lot of bugs that are just beyond my understanding. Can you help me write a description, a brief for me to hire a developer, and give me some pointers on where the best developers are that I could hire? Talk to the agent about that. The agent will help you write the brief, and you could probably find a developer in South America who understands AI well enough and who's also a classically trained developer, coder. Probably pay them 50, 60 bucks an hour. In the United States, you might be looking at $100 to $250 an hour. I recommend going to South America to find such a developer. That's what I'll be doing personally. I'll be sharing that with you on my journey when I hire a developer within 2 to 3 months for my other application, which is my image generator application for Shopify. We'll talk about that more in detail as we approach further development of that. So yeah, this has just been a little video here from Colombia, guys. I wanted to check in. I probably won't even post it until I get back to the States because the internet's a little shaky out here. Let me show you again what's going on. I think I'm gonna take a dip in this jacuzzi. Oh yeah, it's getting nice and warm. I'll be swimming in this soon. Sky's the limit, my friends. Sky is the limit. Nothing can stop you. You could travel the world, have agents working on your behalf. Remember, the agents are just tools. You set them loose. You let them work for you. We have never ever been at a moment in time like this in history when it comes to AI, when it comes to agents. This is the time. Seize the opportunity now. Do not let 1 week pass without you touching AI. Touch it. Touch it every single day, I promise you. You'll receive exponential returns if you invest the time. If you're willing to struggle a little bit, if you're willing to lose and fumble, if you're willing to burn through some money to learn. But those who stay persistent will be like this vista we're looking at, endless horizon. It'll be like the sky. Nothing can stop you. You can fly straight to space. Keep going, keep studying. This is just the beginning. This is Dave Maté. Check me out at Askarione.com, Askarione.com. Sign up for my newsletter. Give me a like on Facebook, please. I need your help. I need you to just support this channel. Help push me further. Help ask me questions. I'll do the best to reach out to you guys. My email is admin, A-D-M-I-N, at Askarione, Askarione.com. If you have any questions, go ahead. Shoot me an email. I'll 100% get back to you, help you out. If you want to jump on a call with me, you want someone to walk you through something, you know, we could arrange that. We could work something out. More than happy to help. And I highly recommend jumping onto YouTube. YouTube will be your greatest source of learning during this era. I would say 85% of my learning is on YouTube. Just jumping on YouTube, subscribing to all the AI channels that I could find, reading as many articles as I could find, spending the hours watching the videos, and then the most important thing, putting in the reps with your coding agent, putting in the reps every single day with Claude Code, or whatever you're using, Codex, Gemini, whatever you want to use, ChatGPT. Put in those reps, expand your mind, keep on thinking, stay sharp. Salud. Dave Maté, signing out from Colombia. I'll see you guys soon when I get back to the States. Peace, guys. I appreciate you